The important thing about our operation is that it's taking more of a holistic approach and working with all the natural resources. And it's really lent towards improving the hunting on our operation, which was never intended to be part of our business plan. But we were going broke in the 1980s with the farm agricultural crisis. Before that, it dealt with a lot of dry years, and so we were really economically challenged. And I kept thinking something just didn't make sense as far as how we were going to survive in the future and being sustainable. And so we went to a number of different programs, hired a consultant, and soon figured out that rather than chasing pounds and acres, we needed to emphasize more our natural resources.
Farmers and ranchers in South Dakota and across the country are extremely important wildlife habitat, and here in South Dakota, pheasants are king, and we rely on private landowners with the habitat that they have out there, create great opportunities for pheasant hunting. Whether it's a ranching operation where they have cattle on, or even just a farming practices with the different rotations and grasses and food plots and tree plots and little different things that they do on the landscape create excellent pheasant habitat. And it's operations that work both for the farmer and rancher and also for wildlife.
We're on a beautiful working ranch here. And the reason I want to bring that up is this tie-in you see between landowners and conservation and hunters. There isn't a better relationship with conservation forwards we've seen in this country. There's a model we call the North American model. Really what it means is that we care about conservation. Public resource, it belongs to everybody, you have access to it. But none of that works unless we have this beautiful partnership we have with landowners.
Without the habitat that we have from the landowners, we wouldn't have the pheasants that we have here in South Dakota.
When you see working lands with cattle, a lot of people think that's a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. You need to graze down these prairie grounds. We were hunting yesterday, walking right through the cattle, and they're like conservation partners to us. And if you move those cattle around like buffalo do, so they graze them hard for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and move them, that's exactly what nature does on its own. So you duplicate that very successful way of getting prairie grass growing back. So it's a wonderful partnership.
There has to be some type of grassland management out there, whether it's grazing or burning or whatever you do that creates the grass that's valuable for not only for wildlife but for livestock as well.
Our hunting enterprises were never a part of our original business plan. It's something that just started working in because of our change in land management and increase in wildlife numbers because of it, both pheasant and deer. It takes some management. We definitely make sure there's enough food plots out for the winter. And we leave grassed areas, time our grazing in different ways, which is advantageous to the wildlife, the livestock, soil health, water quality, and so there's a whole host of reasons why not to overgraze or overutilize the land, and I think even more importantly, appropriate land use for the land you have. And of course in the prairie pothole region, we think the most important land use is to have grass that is grazed in a controlled manner and not be draining wetlands, control the wetlands. They're very important in our total operation.